I love comfy, wholesome, cute shows. They're an important part of my palette when it comes to watching anime and reading manga. I just love the warm vibes, and they can be especially helpful when I'm feeling down. Many of these shows that I've enjoyed originated from Manga Time Kirara, with this list being my top 10 favorites. For anyone who doesn't know, Kirara is a line of Japanese magazines that publish manga. These are generally the first way manga is released within Japan, with the tankobon volumes that have compiled chapters coming afterwards from different publishers, which outside of Japan is usually our only option physically. I'll be talking about the series that have released in Kirara previously, or are currently running in Kirara, and have gotten anime adaptations. And on screen I'm showing the 4 lines just so everyone's aware. The 4 lines are Manga Time Kirara, Manga Time Kirara Max, Manga Time Kirara Forward, and Manga Time Kirara Karat. Sadly, Kirara does not currently release translated chapters online, so volumes really are our only option if you want to read it in English or other languages. What you can generally expect from Kirara are a slice of life series with wholesome, comfy vibes, characters being endearing to the max, Kirara Max, and characters indulging in their passions together. Not a lot happens in these series very often from a plot standpoint, but the point is in enjoying the everyday mundanity alongside gags and exaggeration and stuff like that. All of the shows on this list are funny and cute to some extent, and all of the characters are meant to be likable. It's the main purpose of these types of shows. But the best ones have some combination of a unique element that lets them stand out from the rest, they take their main gimmick to the peak, or truly are one of those series that can do it all. Before I start, I should give a quick explanation of what moe is, because I don't see the term thrown around very often in recent time. Basically, I think of moe as a term surrounding writing and characterization that is focused on making the characters as cute and endearing as possible. It's when the substance itself of a character series is about being cute in a way. That's the primary focus, being cute. And remember to not take rankings too seriously. Spots can change very easily. I've moved things around multiple times over the course of writing this. I like everything on this list, and the handful of shows that I did watch but did not put here are not necessarily bad either. Remember that this is just my opinion, and yes, I am being very subjective here. And also I did not rewatch every single thing here in full. Now onto the list. Putting this together was such a great trip down memory lane. It was really so much fun, as I watched a lot of these as far back as middle school, and we're talking about like 10 or so years ago I watched some of these. And speaking of, getting into number 10 is The Order of Rabbit, or GochiUsa. This one is about a group of girls who work at a cafe featuring a talking rabbit. One nice part about it is that the architecture and design is inspired by European architecture and like city design and stuff like that, which gives it some more distinct and memorable visuals. It's a solid, cute slice of life show, but for me, this one does not have a specific thing that really made it stand out compared to the rest. This one also goes very hard on moe. A lot of this list has a fair amount of moe appeal, as if you pay attention to the intro, but here it really is the main appeal to me. It has comedy too, but I wouldn't call it as funny as a lot of the other shows, and it does go into what you could say is lowly territory with some of the characters, though not in a sexual way, to be very clear. It's a cute and comfy show, but I think this is the easiest one to skip if like strong moe intention isn't your thing. I liked it a lot when I first watched it, but this is one where I don't plan to rewatch it or say it's something you need to see. And I think this one can sort of set the stage for what a baseline cute girls do cute things show is. What I can say is that it did have the coffee green tea meme, which was always hilarious, and I remember the season 2 ending popped off with memes at one point too. So now, moving on to number 9, we have Kiniro Mosaic, or Kinmoza. Kinmoza is about a group of high school girls going about their days in Japan, but 2 of them are exchange students from England, with the 2 main characters in particular being obsessed with the other's respective culture. This is the first anime I saw that has a distinct cross-cultural focus, which I have grown to really love as time's gone on. It does not go in depth when it comes to like the cultural differences and stuff like that in an informative sort of way. It really is mainly for comedy and to show the passion that each character has for the other culture. So if you're looking to get something more informative, I wouldn't exactly say it goes quite that far, at least based on what I can remember. And what I think sets it above is the Order of Rabbit, is specifically this. It's this cross-cultural focus. I think that was interesting. And the dynamic of Karen, Alice, and Shinobu gushing over Japanese and English things respectively was very fun and endearing. And if you like hearing characters speak other languages than their natural ones, this will give you a lot of that. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff. And speaking of that, Karen is the best part of the show. She has lots of great dialogue and gags. She is just hilarious. And she is definitely the highlight of it. And I must admit, I watched the Karen Desu Mad that came out a while ago, an unhealthy amount back in the day. Pretty sure over the course of a summer vacation, probably in middle school, I'm finished the 10-hour version of it. But yeah, so Kiniro Mosaic, another, again, fun, cute. Another one where if you think that cross-cultural focus and that kind of chill high school atmosphere works for you, then definitely check it out. But I think there is better ones as well. And now, moving on to number 8, we have Hidamari Sketch. The show follows a group of high school girls who attend an art school and live in an apartment complex together. Hidamari Sketch is, to my knowledge, the first Kirara series to get an anime adaptation, coming out back in winter of 2007. If you want to watch something in an older style and feel, definitely check it out. Shaft's directive style is very visible here, and I think it still looks really great. I love the simple and cutesy art style of the source material and the good way that they adapted it, combined with the interesting visual direction. The total joy to the eyes for me. These are very different shows, but the closest comparison I can make is actually to the Monogatari series. They actually look, you can really see the parallels. It has a mix of the cute moe blob style, along with higher details, the patterned backgrounds, getting real images, the Shaft thing of quick cuts with text on the screen, then jumping back to the characters, all kinds of stuff like that. It's a really great looking show. I think one of the best looking shows on this list. It's very wholesome and funny, and the show has a lot of, that day-to-day relatability, with great visuals helping a lot with those jokes and the characters being cute and stuff. But it is limited in scope to just focusing on the girls going about their days for the most part. So it does not have a lot going on, like a lot of these early ones too. And I can't say anything special about the characters. At least with Kimoza, I can say oh, Karen, she's awesome. I don't have one of those here. And this one does have the characters interested in art, so it's got a little bit of that art focus, though it doesn't go in depth and isn't one of my favorites when it comes to the characters pursuing art standpoint. But so yeah, this is a good show that looks pretty great, but also is pretty simple. And moving on to 7, we have Blend S. Blend S follows a group of characters who work at a cosplay cafe, where all the waiting staff roleplay a character trope. And I would like to note that this show actually has main male characters. The show does play into moe and fetishes, with each person acting out their role, but the focus is on comedy. It's not very sexual. The way I explain it is that characters acting out those roles, it's not for the audience, really. You're not feeling like you're one of the customers or anything like that. Nor is it playing into the angle of dissecting this side of the Japanese service industry. It really is just for jokes and the setting, rather than something to take seriously. So you can take that as a positive, negative, neutral, as you will. That's really up to your opinion. I really like the way it goes about it. Though I will consider it a bit higher age intended than the rest of the shows on this list, because a lot of these shows are a little younger. You can say they're younger intended. Like the usual anime audience, but maybe a little younger. But I think anyone can enjoy it. And for most of the characters, the point that really makes it great is that the role they play is not their actual personality. The one who plays the little sister role is actually a grumpy, jaded adult. The sweet and innocent main character plays a sadist. I don't want to say too much, but basically everyone in the cast fits other roles better than the actual people who play them. And how that plays into things makes their dynamics really fun. This is the first one where I really got attached to everyone in the cast. I think Kaho is best girl though. One flaw though is that the cutesy simple style for the characters for once actually backfires a little bit, because like most of these shows have a very cutesy, simpler style. But here, the premise is that the main character looks menacing when she smiles, to the point that she struggles to get jobs in normal places. But I wish the art style of the show made this more apparent and consistent, outside of when it's used for a gag. A lot of the time, she just looks like a normal anime girl, which kind of makes you forget that she is supposed to look scary. But it's not anything that ruins it, but just one where I have a more blatant criticism. And the last notable thing, if you weren't around into anime when this came out, the opening is very iconic and had tons of memes made from it. Those are really great. Recommend checking them out. On to number 6, we have Comic Girls. This show is about a group of young female artists who live together in a dormitory, all pursuing their own form of art. My favorite thing about Comic Girls is Kaos, the main character. She is one of my favorite main characters on the series of this list. She is just the cutest little bean ever, who really gives you that protect energy of being like that kind of girl failure type of thing, while also being a total otaku gremlin. She's just such an awesome, fun main character. She does have the girl failure moe type focus, but she does also have some other traits and some genuine emotional struggle about improving in art and self-loathing. Unlike some of the other shows, this has a consistent emotional through line throughout the whole thing that helps make it more engaging, especially for the people who aren't as big on these very slow, chill, cute, wholesome shows. This type of slice of life. The show gives you the antics of the cute girls do cute things type of show, with some notable moments where it can be taken more seriously and have something to say. There's nothing wrong with the other characters, but Kaos is the one who is really, really great. And Comic Girls is very much what got me into understanding the anime girl noises type of thing, like that trope in anime. And I actually am a big fan. I actually like the silly, ridiculous noises that you get with a lot of Japanese voice acting in anime. But I'll be talking about a series with another well-written girl failure who I like more, who also does really great anime girl noises too. But yeah, Comic Girls is good. It's fun. Kaos is a really great main character. I think this one has a little more appeal as that cute girls do cute things show. I think this could appeal to more mainstream people a bit better, I guess, than the ones before it on the list. All right, getting into the top 5, we're starting with K-On! This show follows girls who are in the light music club of their high school as they go about having fun and being a band. K-On! Is the quintessential cute girls do cute things series. If someone doesn't know what that means, and if they have any interest, this is what they should watch. It's super wholesome and cute, that simple. The lazy, comfy atmosphere that it gives matches perfectly with the characters themselves. All of the main characters, they're all really great and likable. Tsumugi was always my favorite. It's surprising how invested you get in these kids just having fun in a club room. The focus on music is pretty well done. It does actually get more into detail about playing the instruments, and the band performances are great too, along with the music. But the main focus really is on the girls goofing off together. So if you wanted like a really deep focus on music and being in a band, that kind of like inner dynamics, there are plenty of other shows that I recommend for that. Like, Girls Band Cry, stuff like that. But still, this is really great. As a comfy, like kind of goofy show, their dynamics are really great. It also has a few very strong emotional gut punches that are executed really well. I can't be any more specific than that because I don't want to spoil them. But yeah, out of everything on this list that would make you cry, it's this one, surprisingly. And I think that juxtaposition actually works really well. And like I say, from a production standpoint, it's done by Kyoto Animations. So everything that KyoAni does to make their shows look and sound so great is here too. So I really do love this show a lot. I would not put it at the top of the list. I know other people do. Yeah, I know other people would definitely rank it very high, and I do very much love it, but I just love some of these other ones just a bit more. And on to number 4, we have Yuru Camp, or Laid Back Camp. Yuru Camp is about a group of girls in high school who love camping and related activities, like DIY, cooking, and traveling. This show does its comfy atmosphere perfectly. Its very slow and methodical pacing never feels like a detriment. It's just such a warm and relaxing experience. In what makes Yuru Camp special, I went into detail, but what I think makes Yuru Camp stand out when it comes to being a hobby and a cute girls show, but I'll get in general here. One of my favorite aspects is that Rin, the solo camper, is not treated like she needs to be part of the main group. It respects her preference for being alone, while also embracing the appealing aspects of group camping with the main squad. And there's a lot that you can take away from the series' approach to the activities that the characters get into. It really makes you want to get outside and enjoy the beautiful world that we live in. And it shows you how much you can get out of putting in the time and effort to do something, like building a skill. And it portrays nature beautifully, while also having really goofy expressions and gags and stuff like that. The content is very simple, but I think you can actually get a lot out of that simplicity, which I think this is what really a lot of these shows can do at their best, and what I hope more people can understand. That is a lot more than these types of Cute Girls Do Things shows can be a lot more than just characters sitting around talking about normal stuff with really no deepness or nuance or anything to take out of it. And because of that, it really gives me a strong appreciation for it. Because, yeah, it's what I want people to understand. These simple slice of life shows can be a lot more than just cute girls goofing off. And nothing wrong with that, but there's also a lot more to it. But on the other end, where I would actually say there's not exactly a ton to get out of it, but that's not a problem, is Acchi Kocchi or Place to Place. This show follows a group of friends in high school, with the main character Sumiki having a crush on Io, the main male lead. This is a very simple and very sweet show that honestly I adore with my entire soul. I remember being obsessed with this show back in the day when I watched it. Out of everything here, revisiting this show gave me the biggest burst of happy nostalgia. When I mentioned a show taking their main intention to the max, this is what I was talking about. This is the apex of just turn your brain off and just feel happy. It does go deep into moe, with the main character being shy and in love, but acts like a cat. It is very tropey for its time, with stuff like nosebleeds, cat ears, and many of the other character tropes of the time. Most of the characters are pretty simplistic, personality-wise, but they do all serve their role well. The comedy act between them works really well. It is, again, very simple characters, simple premise, but I just think the interplay just works. Even stuff like, honestly, Phineas and Ferb just popped into my head. You know exactly what Phineas and Ferb is about. You know their jokes. You know what the plot is, but it was still generally very interesting and fun each time and enjoyable. I think that this is actually very similar to that. It's a show, it has its main couple clear, with their dynamic actually being pretty good. You can't help but cheer Tsumiki on and feel happy every time Io does something that makes her happy. While Io is the dense male love interest, I don't really think his is in a negative way at all. He does have an actual personality. He's quiet and stoic, but will go along with jokes and can be proactive. Acchi Kocchi, together I think, is exceedingly simple, practically feeling episodic. I can understand people thinking it's repetitive, but I can't bear to be negative towards it. I'm not calling it 10 out of 10 peak fiction. But this is a nostalgia pick that I have to put up relatively high because my feelings for it are just that strong. Yeah, it's not a perfect, fantastic show, but I just really love it a lot. It's such an easy show to just pull up when you want something sweet and you can just pick a random episode. The show was definitely instrumental in building my love for fluffy romances and cute shows and stuff like that. Just getting that sweetness directly into your vein. So this show has an important place in my heart. If you want pure sugary sweetness, this is the best show for that in the list, in my opinion. And the best from Kirara that I know. And going on to number 2, we're taking a bit of a jump for these last two, as we are now talking about 2 of my absolute top anime period. If you know me well, you likely know what number 1 and 2 would be. Number 2 being Bocchi the Rock. Bocchi the Rock follows Hitori Goto, an introverted mess who wants to be in a band and become a famous rock star. Bocchi the Rock's anime is, in my opinion, one of the best adaptations ever, period. It is hilarious, and with tons of great visual gags and various styles that just elevated the already solid manga so much and just exploded into popularity. I think most people know what Bocchi the Rock is, if you're a consistent anime fan at all. Like, no one expected Bocchi the Rock's anime to be this big. But it was just so fantastic. It is by far the funniest show on this list, in my opinion. And the manga itself is great, to be clear. I do chapters of them, by the way, on my website. But just the anime really just did so much lifting. The characters are so quirky and lovable. Even the side characters are super great. Current number one waifu is Seika Ijichi, but all the adult characters are really great. So if you're someone who has interest in this type of show, but just doesn't like that they're often about high schoolers and sometimes even middle schoolers, then Bocchi the Rock might help you, because all the adult characters are really good. And especially going into the manga, you get more adult characters too. So yeah, Bocchi does get a lot of mileage out of being the she's just like me for real, anxious introvert type of character, but there is substance and growth to her character. I think she's a very well done, anxious, introverted character. Her freak out moments are also a lot of the best gags, like the Banshee scream, you know what I'm talking about, how insane that was. There's a lot of really great stuff about the creative process, getting along with people, and self-improvement. The friendships between the characters in Keisuku Band and the band's dynamic as a whole are just so well done. Like, I feel like you could just watch Keisuku Band go around doing things forever, which is the hallmark of a great show like this, where it's just sitting with the characters, watching them do stuff is just so enjoyable. It makes sense. It also makes sense that the shipping space for Bocchi the Rock is so intense, because the dynamics between the characters are just that good. There's a very well-balanced, well-coordinated group of characters. The only negative I can bring about Bocchi the Rock is that if you seriously cannot handle cringe humor, Bocchi being very cringy at times, then it might be too much for you, but that's really the only negative I could talk about. I've talked about Bocchi the Rock already across YouTube and especially on my website, and I will continue to, because I absolutely love this series. And now, the number one, my absolute favorite series from Kirara, and one of my favorite things, period, Demon Girl Next Door, or Machikado Mazuku. This series follows the main character Shamiko, who needs to defeat a magical girl to break her family's curse. But instead, Momo the magical girl becomes her frenemy, and together they unravel the mysteries of their town. Nothing I've talked about on this list so far is exactly story-driven. They're mostly about just being comfy and funny. And there's nothing wrong with that. But this series actually has a solid story, on top of being wholesome and having super endearing characters. The entire cast of characters are all super quirky and lovable. But I especially adore the two main leads. I'm seriously not a shipper at all, but with Shamiko and Momo I ship them so hard. Their dynamic and the growth they go through together is just perfect. Their frenemy back and forth that they go through is so cute. They're just a perfect pairing of characters. And my favorite voice actress, Konomi Kohara, plays Shamiko, and I absolutely love her performance here so much. She does goofy anime noises that I brought up before better than anyone, and portrays the very emotional personality of Shamiko super well. Shamiko herself is one of my favorite main characters. You watch her grow from being a girl failure who struggles at everything into really being the leader of her community. It's genuinely been inspirational for me. The setting that the story takes place in is also very well developed and integral to the story. You get to see this town grow as you learn about it, along with the protagonists as they move towards their goal. The fantasy and the magical elements, along with the normal grounded elements, also play together super well. It is a great balance of parodying magical girl shows, while also doing tropes for them well at the same time. The dynamic between the main characters is that of a magical girl versus a demon, but the demon is the pure one who wants to take the peaceful route, while the magical girl is the one who's more conniving and just wants to settle things with her fists. So they do that flip that's done really well. There are plenty of fun day-to-day shenanigans that you'd often get into with these types of slice-of-life comedies, but the main plot really is spread out throughout the story very well. So like, if you have breaks, the main plot's not the main focus constantly, but it is always there. It's always present, and I just think the balancing of it is done super well. You get plenty of cute, funny moments, as well as actual intrigue about wanting to know what happens next. The sound design is also stellar, with tons of unique and memorable sound effects. I just love everything about this series. And this is one where absolutely there's some favoritism, but I wouldn't really say there's nostalgia here. I just genuinely think it's super good. It's one where I actually will defend this is not just a cute, goofy show. I think it actually is excellent. Peak fiction. And that's why it is my favorite Kirara anime, and I can kind of say my favorite anime period. I promise I will put out more things involving Demon Girl Next Door. I have not talked about it as much as I would like, and I will talk about it more. And with that, that brings us to the end of the list. I wanted to do this list with this focus because I thought it'd be more interesting, since a lot of people don't really look into where these kind of series get their start, especially in the English-speaking community that often doesn't read manga and just watches anime. I hope more people check out the mangas for slice of life shows like Kirara's, because they tend to not do as well in the outside of Japan. These types of slice of life shows really tend to not do as well. So I'd be very happy if they got more support, and I do my best to support them as well. That's why it's like on my channel and on the website, I will talk about whatever shows I feel like, but I love slice of life. It's my favorite genre, and it is the one that I want to talk about the most. So you will continue to see a lot more slice of life from me, and I hope it can do better. I really hope one day we can get Kirara manga chapters officially translated as they come out through like some kind of online website, or the website they already have that just has Japanese, like what other manga magazines have done in recent years. For example, there's K-Manga. So I really hope we can get that. Please let me know what you think about my picks, any of your favorites, if you'd like to see more lists, stuff like that. And thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe and all that if you enjoyed.